Welcome, Taurus. We are doing your Scorpio season reading. Thank you for joining me here at the Oracle of the Feather Crown Tree. So excited to be bringing this to you. If you would like to book a personal reading, you can find the website below to go ahead and do that. I would love to have the chance to read for you. So this reading is an involvement out of the Chakras Ascension reading. It's conceptually founded on bringing all of our chakras into a center space in our heart and becoming more like a radiant sun there, so that we are producing energy to give to our environment rather than taking from it. Our center card is really connected to that concept, and then I interlaid the Western astrological wheel on top so we could break down the energies into different rays and talk about them in a little bit more individualistic way. Usually a theme comes through though, so we'll see what's going to happen with you. This is an intuitive reading, but I am going to read just the first message off of your center card. Stop focusing on this situation for a while and just bring your awareness within. Close your eyes, relax, and let go. Take a walk in the park, or do whatever it takes to detach. A solution will soon become obvious, and all will work out fine. That is so true. Okay, I'm going to take just a moment to soak in your energies here. This may be a very productive time for you. You may be seeing not only is it productive, but in a way where you've brought things into full fruition and you've really done it in a way where you've created a lot of abundance. Very Taurian energy. Not surprised to see this for you. And there could be quite a bit of like bliss and love involved with this too. Like you feel like it was a good investment. You're content with it, and you're emotionally satisfied by it. Like even, like into the deepest part of yourself. Like you just feel very content and emotionally fulfilled by it. And I think that it will be benefiting not just you solely, but to an extent a community. We're going to look now at your house of identity. You may have had to assume a lot of authority, or you may be during this time showing up very intimidating, I guess is what I want to say there. And it's with a conscious purpose, like you know how this is going to serve you. It has a near icy feeling about it though. And I think that it may be a misperception on your behalf in thinking that this energy, by playing it cool, or assuming this role, assuming this identity, that somehow it's going to garner what you're seeking from it. And I don't think that it is. I think it's going to be a little bit too over the top. So if you are feeling that way, where you feel like you really need to project a lot of power and authority, you may want to consider how that's really helping you, if it's really helping you. Because you may be aware of the play with it, but to others it's going to come off as cruel, inauthentic, unnecessary, unjust. It just has tones that are not going to serve other people. And really, when we're in our power, when we're in our authority, we're giving, we're serving. We're not dominating and taking away the power of other people. going to look now at your house of value. Here I feel like you've been in sort of perpetual motion, like you've really mastered how to keep things in balance, how to have a lot of security, especially in your environment, and keep all the necessities there, keep things in a good flow without feeling overly stagnant. Like there's a really good balance of allowing for some transformation while there is some structure. So this feels like a very healthy space. So you may find that your finances are really good right now. Just your home environment, like if you have property, your landscape may be very well maintained right now. Maybe really on top of that, the house is just not so much like the interior space, but like the actual home, its structure may be very well maintained, especially in relationship to the elements. You may have a lot of fire protection and flooding protection in place and stuff. Like you've looked out for those things, and you understand how it makes you feel inside too, that like by keeping a certain level of command on your possessions, we could say, even it helps order yourself in the same way. Now I'm going to look at your third house of communication, and also how it works within the community a little bit. So I'm hearing, aloofness, wanting to be kind of above other people, take like the easy street, be more in the observer role, have, just like almost like a pleasure trip here. So maybe you are traveling somewhat. But yeah, there definitely feels like this desire to be kind of beyond the ordinary a little bit and seeing things from a higher perspective, which I also get here too. It's almost like we're looking down at like a floor plan in a way. And so you may be examining things from more of a bird's eye view during this time. And Scorpio season does deal with that examination process, really looking at things very deeply. And maybe to look at things deeply, you need to gain some height from it so that it creates some depth. You could be too close to things to where you can't really see them for what they are. So you may find yourself kind of lifting above things going on to really get the perspective that you need. I'm going to look at your home, also your family, your ancestry, and you may find yourself reaching out. You may find like you're just feeling a little too isolated, that it's making you feel different than you actually are. You may be, just not feeling the healthiest because of it. And I get this sense that yes, like you're understanding that you need to do the reaching out. It's not that other people necessarily need to reach out to you. Because once again, like if you've appeared maybe threatening or something, that may have isolated you a little bit. And again, I'm getting like in service a little bit, like maybe people need a little bit of help. And it doesn't have to be something huge, but you might be able to do just a simple thing for someone, especially in your immediate family, that may be very helpful for them. I'm going to look at your day-to-day, not so much your day-to-day, but really the presence of your power, your authority out in the world, and what kind of response it is getting. I see that you're probably playing many roles. You may be experimenting with a few things. It just feels busy. I do see that there are times when You're kind of in this position of authority, although it doesn't seem to be getting much attention. There are other times when you're just sort of collaborating with other people, and that feels very balanced for you. There are also moments when you're just kind of tinkering, it feels like, and you seem very happy in that energy of doing something that doesn't necessarily have to be highly productive, have a certain outcome, have a true purpose to it. It's just kind of playing around and you know, just tinkering, basically, for the lack of a better word, just for the sake of it. And, you know, if you find a happy accident through the process, then so be it. Yeah, so I'm hearing, just don't worry about having to be in control, having to be in authority, because you're going to find happiness not in doing that, but in being in collaboration with other people and enjoying yourself, not having to be in charge of everything. Kind of a less is more vibe coming off of that. So in your house of really the daily routine and health, things feel really good here. So you may find yourself in superb health right now. You may really be enjoying the season. The weather during this time may be just like key for you. It's probably helping you feel just comfortable in your own skin, comfortable in your immediate environment. You know, like maybe you don't have to have the heat on and the air on, or both, you know, alternately. You know, maybe there's just like a nice temperate environment right now for you where things just feel very comfortable. And because of that, it can kind of free up some of your energy, because this is something that normally you would have to have just so, because it's part of your configuration. So when your energy gets freed up from, you know, doing something, it can bring in this opening to have something else come through that feels a little bit unexpected. And so you just may find that you have a feeling of like time might have expanded a little bit, just because you feel less depleted from other things that may have required more maintenance. Now I'm looking at your relationships and harmony and balance, and I'm seeing that you may be kind of going deep and thinking back to things that you really honored as a child. You may be seeing that through a more advanced lens right now. You may be, you know, in later years more spiritual, and looking back and reassessing those days through, you know, the perspective you now have. And I think that it's bringing you a little bit of clarity here. And again, this may just be an energy that's coming through because you're getting a little bit more freed up. I don't feel like you're actively working on it. It just sort of has the opportunity to emerge. And I'm hearing that, you know, this may be something that then plays out, but it's kind of just starting to come through right now. Now we're going to look at the Scorpio house here of depth and mystery, secrets. Yeah, I'm hearing like rewilding, you know, really enjoying bounty, harvest season, connecting maybe this year more than ever to this idea of just all of the things that are produced in nature, and really enjoying them. Maybe you are doing more of a plant-based diet and you're discovering, you know, the joys of cooking in that way, and just having more of those elements around you. Maybe you've started gardening, maybe you've been harvesting from your garden. But there seems to be a real active engagement with that, and reconnecting to it, like re-identifying with it as part of yourself. Yeah, I'm hearing like it's almost like your true nature, but you've learned to gloss it over. You've made it a little hyper real, and you've taken things like our natural abundance and focused maybe more on what has been cultivated through our media as abundance. The acquisition of cars and homes and toys and whatever, clothes, whatever it could be, and that you're really kind of getting back to how you really, inherently understand abundance, and how, and finding what's authentic about that for you. Okay, so your house of could be foreign travel, it could be higher education, just things that are kind of out of bounds for you. I'm hearing like it's about you letting go of over-processing, overworking, overthinking, overdoing, that you're acknowledging that this way of being is becoming a thing of the past. And it's definitely, again, a nod to this more natural abundance, like what is naturally created. What is it that we don't have to hyper-produce in an artificial way? Where is our true abundance, and can we get rid of any outmoded systems that are bringing us this mentality of overwork and doing things just for the sake of being caught up in this process, like an automated process of not really even thinking about things. And so you could be seeing this going on in the world even. This could be something that's under examination through many cultures and countries right now. The idea of what's being mass produced and the thought systems then that would be supporting this type of reality. So you may be looking at that a little bit and giving that some, just further contemplation. Now, your house of your ultimate achievements, your legacy. I'm hearing like I want to give to this world in a way where not only was it something material, like it actually manifested, but in the way that it lives in the world, it feels good. It's a happy thing. It has a sense of effervescence to it, of vitality to it. It's not overly rigid. And what can I do now? It's like you're looking for that higher vision that I was talking about earlier. What can I do here? How can I change my perspective a little bit to really come into a better understanding of something that maybe I'm just starting to sense, and I'm trying to get a better, vision of. It's like this desire to help contribute to a better tomorrow, for not just for yourself in the now, but for those that come after. Now your next house is going to be your personal, like your selfhood apart from society, but also your desire to give to those in need, the humanitarian aspect of you. Yeah, and this has a really nice message coming through. It's like this leveling out, but in a way that doesn't make life any less exciting. It's almost like you found the excitement in equality, of not having to be the authority, of not having to, be something better than another person. There's absolutely so much fun in being just another extension of something that, when it's all together, it's just, bedazzling and kind of magnificent in a way. And you just love feeling, I think, that integration of not having to outshine someone, but being, along with everyone else, just part of something beautiful as a whole, and letting everyone, have their shine, have their moment, have their own talents, and be just as respected for them as you are for yours. Now, this is your house of self-transcendence. This for me is going back to where this inner child thing was coming out. It's kind of an acknowledgement. I'm getting quite sad, especially for you. So you may have had a difficult mother. You may have perceived your mother as really difficult, as really unloving. And I think that you've had to really come into understanding self-love and self-care, learning to be the mother to your inner child, and being at peace with that, and really owning that, really supporting yourself. And this may have been why you may have overcompensated with some authority because of an issue here with, especially I want to say the mother, more so than the father, that it may have complicated the way that you presented yourself in your relationship with authority and duty, and performing what was expected, and being in just a certain type of energy. So this feels, if you get here, this feels very healing, but I wouldn't be surprised if you find yourself a little emotional through this process. And again, this may be something that's able to come through because maybe you've let go of hypermanaging something, having your focus somewhere where it didn't need to be, whatever it is. This feels like this has probably been blocked for quite some time, and it has now been, it's going to be able to be released because it has this opportunity now to do so. Okay, my lovely, lovely Tauruses, we are going to finish there. Thank you again for joining me, and I have like 6 other playlists. If you want to check out any of my other themed readings, you're more than welcome to do so. Alright, you guys take really good care.